2NURFM News for our sponsor Guardian Jewellery, Toronto Town Square and the Esplanade, Warners Bay.
It's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Georgia Lupton with 2NURFM Hunter News. Firefighters have extinguished a bushfire reported at West Wallsend earlier this morning. Newcastle Fire Command were called to the small bushfire on Apple Tree Road at 11:30 this morning. The fire was called to a stop at 12:19 this afternoon. Police are appealing for information on a missing teenager from New Lambton. 13-year-old Georgia Brack was last seen on Saturday, 18th of July. Her family reported her missing to police when she failed to return home and they couldn't locate or contact her. Michelle Minehan from Police Headquarters is urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers.
Georgia is described as being of Caucasian appearance. She's approximately 155 centimetres tall, with a slim build, long dark hair, and she has a fair complexion. So anyone who sees Georgia or believes they do know of her whereabouts is urged to contact Newcastle Police or Crime Stoppers immediately.
More people are owning guns in Newcastle as ownership numbers soar to new highs. Gains won in John Howard's 1990s gun buyback scheme have said to be lost as Newcastle gun rates have increased 81% over the last 5 years. Greens MP David Shoebridge says we are becoming too complacent about gun laws.
There's no doubt that as we get more and more guns, we get more tolerance for the use of guns. And of course, this growing pool of legal guns is one of the ready ways that guns leak from the legal to the illegal market. And we'll be conducting research over the next few months, watching the gun numbers against gun crime and seeing if the anecdotal reports of saturated guns in the community is one of the drivers of gun crime.
Ambulance wait times in the Hunter are too long, according to Port Stephens MP Kate Washington. The statement comes after a family was forced to wait over 40 minutes for an ambulance, despite living only 10 minutes away from the nearest station. Washington says patients in the Port Stephens area do not have access to vital facilities, therefore adding to the burden placed on ambulances.
One of the big issues we have locally is that Tomaree Hospital doesn't have an X-ray facility. So there are so many people that need to be transported from our area into the John Hunter or the Mater to actually get the health services and diagnostics that they need.
Emergency accommodation services for women in the Hunter have been struggling to meet demand due to limited beds. Hunter Support Service, Nova for Women and Children, has received over 200 referrals for emergency accommodation from women over the last 2 months. CEO of Nova, Kelly Hansen, says the gendered wage gap is a contributing factor of homelessness in older women.
We know that there's an increase in the gendered wage gap and that there's a casualisation of the workforce, which means low pay, poor entitlements that women make up the majority of. They often have not much superannuation. They don't own their own homes. It's difficult to get into the housing market.
Jay Carg of Centrepoint Roofing has been charged with 10 offences after conducting dodgy roof repairs in the Hunter. The unlicensed businessman has received a 2-year good behaviour bond and will be required to pay $6,500 in fines and costs. Commissioner for Fair Trading Rob Stowe says the man misquoted his licence number to 2 Hunter residents.
One home was in Belmont, the other was in Eldermore Vale, and in these instances Mr Carg had contracted to do work, misleading the people into thinking the licence number he had quoted was his. In fact, he had used somebody else's licence, and fortunately there were defective problems.
In finance, the All Ords is up 20.7 points at 56.61 and $1 Australian dollar is buying 73.05 US cents.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor Warners Bay Sports Club.
The Knights suffered their 13th loss for the season yesterday at the hands of the St George Dragons. The 46-24 loss was the first game under the coaching of Danny Badiris, but was one of many games Newcastle have played with an understrength side this season. Badiris says it's tough to watch when he knows the club is capable of better performances.
We've got obviously a fair few players out, but some older guys trying to hold it together with some young guys, and yeah, it's tough, that's for sure, after the week we've had. So yeah, we just got to keep hanging in.
The Wanderers' Dan Kevill will be waiting nervously for the judiciary to reach a decision over his eye-gouging allegation. Kevill was sent off in his side's 33-30 win over Merryweather on Saturday after the touch judge indicated to the referee the second rower had eye-gouged an opponent, an offence which carries a 12-week suspension. And Nova Cashier and Aaron Royal will be among the Aussies chasing gold in Rio 2016 after he qualified for the Olympic team with a 6th place finish in this morning's Olympic test event in Rio. That's sport. I'm Annabelle Regan.
2NURFM News Time is 2:05.